get seven. With 7 slaps in the sack, that's all you get, no going back. With 7 slaps in the sack, that's all you get up in your bag. With 7 slaps, 7 slaps in the sack, ain't no leaving, no turning back. With 7 slaps, with 7 slaps, 7 slaps up in the sack.
Yeah, bitch, it's all about love. Young rider, baptized in the fire. Deep desire to mash and get my cash higher. What you want, what you need, what you feel.
Carrick Wenke here. It is episode 39 or 40 of 7 Slaps in the Sack. I can't remember, but we have a part 2 guest with us, ROZZ DYLIAMS, also known as Dylan Ross.
If it's episode 40, just tell them all it's 39 for the next couple episodes.
It's episode 25 forever. But we've had a lot of requests that Dylan gets a part 2 episode because this part 1 was very informative. We did that like 2.5 years ago, and we've
I
done
had 7 slaps on my part 1, but I had to do it to these meatballs and hit them with 8 once more. Frank Zappa, Overnight Sensation, my first choice. I fucking love Zappa. I'm a Frank Zappa nerd to the bone. I love Mothers of Invention. Like, I have a hella Frank Zappa records. This is a real good, like, poppy structured album. Came out in '77. Overnight Sensation, Frank Zappa. Brap is the slap. The name of this slap, Pt.2 by Skinny Puppy. This is like a weird collection of Skinny Puppy B-side songs. And this is like the first one. My dad had this album, big into industrial, and this is like the first one that I really fucked with heavy because it had like an interactive computer game.
Oh, yeah.
I pull a lot from this album. This one is a Lee, songs produced by Lee Scratch Perry, the Ultimate Collection. And Lee Scratch Perry was like a dub reel guy. And I fuck with Lee Scratch Perry heavy. But the reason that I picked this out is because it has one song on here, To Be a Lover by George Fate, which is probably one of my favorite songs of all time. And definitely my favorite reggae song of all time. And favorite rendition of that song, To Be a Lover. Kool Keith as Dr. Doom, First Come First Serve, 1999. Produced by Cutmaster Kurt. This is the illest fucking horrorcore record that has ever been released. Yo, it has a mushroom Swiss burger with a mouse in it. Like, everything about this is next level.
He was on the Office Space soundtrack. Some of those songs.
This album was also featured on Grandma's Boy. It's like Neighbors Next Door was on Grandma's Boy. Phyllis Hyman, Living All Alone. Phyllis Hyman's really fucking dope. This is like late 80s pop, R&B, funk. But there's one really good song on here, First Time Together, which I've used elements of. Buck 65, Secret House Against the World. Buck 65 I first learned about on Degrassi. He's a Canadian hip-hop artist who then kind of like branched into all these different types of like genres. He started fucking with bluegrass for a while. I was like, eh. This album was really fucking good. Secret House Against the World has the song Devil's Eyes, and then a French version of Devil's Eyes, which is really fucking good, just piano and him singing. Buck 65 is now the voice of CBC Radio, Richard Keffrey, add N2X, On the Wires of Our Nerves. This is a really fucking dope album. Barry Shenton, Ann Shenton, 707s, 303s, Moogs, all these weird type of filters and old 70s shit. And it has this crazy cover where it's like 2 guys with a keyboard in a lady's like guts. And she's just made like this weird far out like avant-garde techno music. Got this shit for Christmas.
Oh, yeah?
The same Christmas I got that album, I got the first Resident Evil toys. And they just broke the same fucking day. My final 8th slap is The Initial Command by Frontline Assembly. Probably my favorite industrial record of all time. I don't know, I could talk about this record all day, but Insanity Lurks Nearby. That song, like, when I first heard it and like the way that the samples are done and like pan from left to right and shit, it's just fucking amazing. It's just like super raw too. Like now everything's digital, but this, like, there's certain things where it's like certain samples like wouldn't sync up, like they're on beat but it's like off beat a little bit, and it's just like, so some of the shit sounds really natural and like less robotic than usual. 87? Yep, 1987. The Initial Command by Frontline Assembly. That's my slaps.
There you have it. He really did it to the meatballs.
All my slapperoonies.
Yeah. Shout out to Crime Wave. Shout out to Dawson.
My meatballs.
All the meatballs in the background that you can't see. Shout out to Everyday Music, home of the meatball. And there you go.
I love